Hello, my name is Matt Allner, and I live in Colorado. I'm making this short video here today to inform you why I am pushing forth a lawful notice to all our legislators here in Colorado to cease and desist drafting and passing unconstitutional bills that infringe on the rights of the people. I have seen such bills proposed in the past, and most have passed through the House and the Senate and have been signed into law by our governors. But this year, one of the most radical gun bills in U.S. history has been proposed by our state legislators, and the infringement is the deepest I've seen. This is Colorado Senate Bill 25-003. My hope is that you will take a few things from this video and be curious enough to read over and sign the jot form version of the lawful notice, and then pass along both the link to this video as well as the jot form link of the notice to those you know, so that we can flood the Colorado legislature with notices by the end of this week. This is by Friday, February 7th, 2025. The people at our state level who will be receiving your signed notice include the Governor, Jared Polis, the State Attorney General, Phil Weiser, the Speaker of the House, Julie McCluskey, the President of the Senate, Steve Fenberg, and at my county level, I also included my Sheriff, Joey Robal, in this notice because he and his office are opposing the bill. I'm also including a certain Colorado House representative by the name of Representative Scott Bottoms, who is fully aware of and knowledgeable with the process that we are using with notices and affidavits to get remedy with the people's grievances, as I've been teaching and instructing him on the process since last April 2024. Again, my hope is that this effort will receive hundreds of signed notices by the end of the week from we the people, so that your attention and help with this matter is very much appreciated. No matter what state you live in, you may sign this notice, as we are all one people, and regardless of what state you reside in as a citizen, a concern in another state other than the one where you reside is and should be a concern of all people, because these are all rights being infringed, all our rights being infringed upon. It is important to mention here quickly that for those of you who may be new to all of this constitutional and fundamental law information, that you can quickly reference your U.S. or any of the state constitutions from your phone, tablet, or laptop by typing into your internet search bar, your address bar, ballotpedia.com. That's BALLOTPEDIA.com, all one word. From there, you find the search bar at the top of the homepage for Ballotpedia, and simply type in, if you're looking for the United States Constitution, type in U.S. Constitution. Or if you're trying to find and reference any of the state constitutions, this can be found by typing your state name and then the word Constitution after that. So for instance, finding the Colorado Constitution, you would simply type in the words Colorado Constitution. In Arizona, you would type in Arizona Constitution, and so on and so forth. The reason I mention this isn't to offend anyone's intelligence. It's just that when you type in other key search words, you don't always get to the Constitution, and then it gets a little confusing how to find it, okay? All right, so for the premise of this video, I will be mostly referencing the Colorado Constitution, and for those that are new to the state constitutions, we will be referencing Article 2 of the Colorado Constitution, because this is known as what is the Bill of Rights. While the entire Constitution is important to know, the entire state Constitution is important to know, when first getting started and wanting to better understand what rights you have as one of the people in your state, it is important to focus on the Bill of Rights in your state specifically. Your Bill of Rights will be found in either Article 1 or 2 of your respective state constitution, just so that you're not searching around for it. Okay, to our notice. So if you have our jot form pulled up right now and you can simultaneously listen to the video and look at the notice, the first thing I want to point out and emphasize is on the first page under the Colorado Constitution. This is Article 2, Sections 1 and 3. In Section 1, it clearly states that all political power is vested in and derived from the people. All government of right originates from the people, is founded upon their will only, and is instituted solely for the good of the whole. This is important because this states our authority, and that any power our legislative branch believes they have only came from us, and we gave them no power over us. Otherwise, it would have been stated somewhere in the constitutions, and it doesn't. And if you think about it, why would we ever write something into a contract for a servant who's going to represent us, something that gave that servant any authority over us? That would really be a bad contract. Second item I want to emphasize is Article 2, Section 3, where it clearly states, all persons have certain natural, essential, and inalienable rights, among which may be reckoned the right of enjoying and defending their lives and liberties of acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and of seeking and obtaining their safety and happiness. This is important to understand because in the case of Colorado Senate Bill 25-003, which is attempting to prevent and make it unlawful to manufacture, distribute, transfer, sell, or purchase a specified semi-automatic firearm with severe offenses of a Class 2 misdemeanor charge on the first offense and a Class 6 felony on the second or subsequent offenses. So if we look back at Article 2, Section 3 of the Colorado Constitution, where it says how can we defend, I'm asking a question, I apologize. If we look back at the article, how can we defend our lives and liberties, and how do we pursue our happiness in that regard if our right to do something that needs to be protected and that protection is removed from us? It is well known that the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution provides a basis of understanding for how the state constitutions should protect this right of the people. Most of us know this right, especially people that are avid gun owners and people that like to hunt. And since the state of Colorado was founded after the ratification of the U.S. Constitution, the provisions the founders of Colorado had to follow in drafting and ratifying our state constitution is that nothing stated in our state constitution could be written to be repugnant, meaning to violate the rights guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. This can also be seen in the Colorado Constitution itself under Article 2, Section 2, which is also listed in our notice. This is at the top portion of the first page of the notice, and it is here where it states our right to alter or abolish our Constitution so long as any changes don't violate the basic rights of citizens guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. In the Colorado Constitution in Article 2, again, which is our Bill of Rights, under Section 13, we have our rights to keep and bear arms clearly stated. For a bill such as Senate Bill 25-003 to try to infringe and take away those rights that we have as citizens to be able to purchase any firearm or weapon of our choosing is a violation in itself. But further, to draft such a bill so as to punish firearms dealers who rely upon licenses issued to them to sell firearms in the state of Colorado is another infringement on itself, because if they refuse, they meaning the gun dealer refuses to follow the law, and they were to get caught, they could lose their license and to be able to sell firearms, plus they'd be subject to the misdemeanor and eventually the Class 6 felony. And if they would choose to follow the law and not sell such firearms, then the people would have no access to buying certain types of firearms they have a constitutional right to own. So either way, this is an attack on the people's rights to keep and bear arms. But this notice is not just about Senate Bill 25-003. It is more about all unconstitutional bills that are being and will continue to be proposed in the 2025 Colorado legislative session and in those in the future. Plus, it is about bills that have been passed into law in the past that are also unconstitutional. So in the demands of our notice at the end, we are not only instructing our legislature to cease and desist proposing and passing unconstitutional bills such as, and we give the example, Senate Bill 25-003, and passing them at any time during this legislative session or in future legislative sessions, but we are also demanding that a full-scale audit take place now to identify any past bills that are unconstitutional and that these bills either be amended properly or removed completely. I want to point out just a couple of other key points from our notice as I wrap up and conclude the video. Colorado Constitution, Article 2, Section 11, ex post facto laws states, no ex post facto law, nor law impairing the obligation of contracts, again, contracts is the Constitution, or retrospective in its operation, or making an irrevocable grant of special privileges, franchises, or immunities shall be passed by the General Assembly. There's also a maxim of law. This is from a collection of maxims that came from Charles A. Wiseman. He was an authority on English law. And this maxim of law 21 states that a repugnant act cannot be brought into being. For example, it cannot be made effectual. So these are both important to understand, both the Colorado Constitution, Article 2, Section 11, and this maxim of law 21, because any bill written and passed into law, or even some sort of rule or regulation that goes against the rights of the people, which is in those rights being guaranteed in the constitutions, it can't be done. Yet time and time again, we see this happening. We see it at the federal level, we see it at the state levels, and in various states, some worse than others. Another important point I want to make here is the fact that the U.S. Supreme Court has already ruled on this back in 1803 in the landmark case Marbury versus Madison. In that case, the court opinion stated, a law repugnant to the Constitution is void. An act of Congress repugnant to the Constitution cannot become law. The Constitution supersedes all other laws, and the individual rights shall be liberally enforced in favor of him, the clearly intended and expressly designated beneficiary, and that is us. So now I hope you can see why we are coming with a notice to our state legislature. Now, not everybody there is going to vote in favor of this bill. We understand that. So this notice, even though it's going to them, some of them, it's going to them to let them know that the people are here to be a shield, to help protect them, because they are doing the job and the will of the people that they took an oath to, and they are doing honorably in serving in their capacity. But it's going also to the people who are bringing the infringement and supporting it through a vote. So again, we're bringing this notice because it brings specific law to their attention so that they can be notified now that they are infringing, and so that down the road they can't say they acted in good faith or that they didn't know. This notice is in essence removing good faith from the equation so that if they continue to debate any sort of unconstitutional bill from this point on, for this point of the bill, of the notice, moving forward, they will be doing so with full intent, knowledge, and malice of the law. Again, this is Matt Allner from Colorado. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video, and I hope you can support our notice and sign it so that we can get these signatures in front of the legislature by this Friday before the Senate chooses to vote and move this bill to the House. Thanks so much.